This stream contains fast-flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy and other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised. Los Angeles. Let's do it again. Los Angeles, baby. Say it with me, everyone. Los Angeles.
I've never seen someone so excited by a freeway interchange.
Hey, guys, Mimi's back.
Train pulled from the very beginning, guys.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Stage 2 Playoffs, lower bracket final, live from the Riot Games Arena. Where are we at again, team?
California?
Los Angeles. You didn't listen.
California. The Angels. Los Angeles. Let's do this, baby. Of course, I'm Golden Boy, just yelling needlessly. You got Sideshow, Bren, Mimi. We're going to talk about some things. Mimi, glad you were able to make it. That's nice.
I escaped the airport. I didn't think they'd let me out.
Good to see you didn't get crowd-striked entirely.
Yeah. I was just on my phone trying to watch the games yesterday at like 1:44
Sick.
Like I'm in the 1920s listening to Woodrow Wilson on the radio. Like, oh, Under Thieves is falling again.
War of the Worlds, thinking that we've actually been invaded.
Well, good
There's
news
actually
is
100 Thieves.
you won't have to watch it 180p here because we got like good screens. So let's go ahead and talk about what happened yesterday, shall we? Because we started the day off with 4 teams in the playoffs and we ended up with 3. We kicked things off. We got Leviatán versus G2. You can see the results there. And coming into this game, look, we were excited. We wanted to see what Lev, what G2, what these teams are going to be capable of. Is Lev going to get tested? How's G2 going to shine going up against the likes of Aspas? And it turned out being, Bren, a 2-0 win for G2.
Yeah, I mean, Lev were trying to set speedrun records, I think, as well, with the match versus crew, and in this one, just trying to end it as soon as possible with some of it. But honestly, full credit to G2. These guys, I think, are playing fundamentally well in almost every aspect of VALORANT.
Yeah, I mean, the mid-rounding was just impeccable there from VALORANT. It was an absolute masterclass. But this second series was a big surprise. I think 100 Thieves came out looking pretty good to start this series on Icebox, and so many situations where they were up, and then it ends in this tragedy of a map 3 where they lose 6 rounds in a row to end their year. But for crew, I mean, what a massive win.
Yeah, it's phenomenal that they've managed to make another Champions, but absolute heartbreak on the other side. 100 Thieves, they are Stage 1 winners, and they're not going to be here. Had a good run, only lost to the finalists in Shanghai. Won't have an opportunity to have any revenge narrative at the end of the year.
That's nutty. You know, like that crew, because honestly, I don't think.
Choke.
Yeah. What was that, Josh? What was that? You want to say it again?
They kind of choke.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, and you know, it certainly stings for those guys, without a doubt. They're gonna come back next year. We're hoping to see, you know, big things out of that squad. But crew lives to fight another day. But on the topic of 100 Thieves, look, we're gonna miss Boosty. We're gonna miss the squad. He talks a big game on stage, doesn't lose a step online. So figured we ask him to walk us through his internet posting history. What could possibly go wrong?
I was on EG for a long time, low-key, from 2021 until beginning of 2024, which is a really long time in esports. Potter being my longest teammate I've ever had in esports, and Jagamo a close second. So I just made a tweet, this first one, Potter and Jaw are my longest standing teammates and friends, so the honor to eliminate their dreams of champs fills my heart with great pleasure. Let's be great today. I mean, to be honest, every tweet I make, I just want to farm impressions. It's just funny, you know? Me saying, being super sweet, and then me saying, I'm gonna ruin their dreams. I think it was funny. I try to make funny tweets. It says, me and the world champ, and it's with Shanks. And like, he's on EG now, so I'm just doing a funny joke about, hey, he's the world champ. So I said, me and the world champ. That was a good night. I also made this one. If I lose today, I retire. I don't even know who I'm playing, to be honest. That was versus Furia. And I put a picture of the the Kickoff Furia. So that's from 2 years ago. Or from not this year, but last year. So I'm saying in the tweet, I don't know who I'm playing, and I'm purposely, as a joke, putting the old Furia team. They have like 2 of the players from back then. So it's just me just like doing little funny things like that. I thought this tweet was hilarious. Shanghai is one of the best cities in the world. I did this tweet, I think the first night I was in Shanghai. If you ever go to Shanghai, you'll instantly notice if you go to downtown, like the skyline of the city where all the skyscrapers are, there's no city like it. Like even Asuna, he's from New York City, he said even this skyline is better than New York City. And New York City's skyline is crazy. Like you'll literally go into downtown Shanghai and we'll just see buildings forever. And they're huge. So it's super cool.
Oh boy, oh boy. All right. Well, you know, you hear there from Boio. Of course, we'll see what he could do as we move on to the next season. But for now, though, let's reflect on our bracket and see how things played out. Because, oh wait, actually no, that's Bren's bracket. Yeah, that's right, Bren's bracket.
Some kind of bet around this bracket?
I don't recall making. No. I don't recall at all making any sort of bet or talking about
It's
this.
difficult to recall, honestly.
It's really hard to recall.
Was it some kind of costume?
Yeah, it might have been, yeah. It's funny as well, you had Sentinels going through all the way. I mean, you were right about the team that was making it to champs, yeah?
They did make it to champs, I will say.
Do you have a cold?
It's pinching my nose quite a bit, and it's causing the... It sounds a bit nasally. I'm not sick.
Sounds great, though.
I'm not sick.
Keep going. Keep going. So what possessed you to make that bracket?
To make that bracket? Well, it was going to be correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it should have been correct.
It's very incorrect.
Honestly, what I was expecting was 100 Thieves would have thrown the initial match so that Sen could go on the run and 100 Thieves could make it as the 4th seed or champs points, but they kind of screwed themselves. They beat Sen. So,
yeah, by winning.
I don't even sound like myself right now. I sound like somebody's doing a voiceover. It's like, how have I got more high? It's like a cartoon character.
It's a little transatlantic as well.
You look like a freaking like Raggedy Ann, but if she was like in the Bronx, you know what I mean? Like, it's so
I'm British. I don't know what you just said.
I feel like he's about to like commentate the fall of the Hindenburg.
Well, here's the actual bracket and where we are right now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, outside of the G2 one, though, I would say Bren nailed that, but we're mostly clowning on him. Well, he's the clown for, you know.
Massively different as well. There's no shot that Bren thought Crew or C9 were making it to champions.
Going on a run, Crew. Go on a run.
I've got that trademarked. I will be suing you.
All right, well, and as we had mentioned, Sen, they qualified because of championship points, but that leads us to this game here today. You got Leviatán versus Crew Visa. Both of these teams had already qualified for Champions Seoul, but now it's about firstly getting better seeding and also winning this trophy, winning this region. Let's not forget how important it is to be able to walk away as the VCT Americas champion. It's a massive achievement, right? Loud did it last year, and now we're looking forward to seeing like who of these 4 teams can take the cake. It's been a fascinating tournament so far.
It would be a hell of a run if Crew were able to go through the lower bracket. Frankly, G2 look uncontested at the top of the mountain right now, but yet to see what happens in a grand finals. That is a sick trophy as well, though.
Yeah, it's really good looking. And honestly, I think these teams care more than people give it credit. I think a lot of people just bring up, oh, seeds for champions. But really, winning that trophy, I think, has a lot of meaning, especially there's a lot of new players, a lot of rookie players who have an opportunity. G2 especially, if they could go from winning Ascension last year to winning Americas this year, it'd be sublime. What do you think about it,
To
Brad?
claim the best in your region is something that every player, I think, is going to try to
just
achieve.
saw Fnatic, right? I believe achieved that in EMEA, isn't that right?
I can't take myself seriously, let alone the discussion points when I'm like this. I don't
just want to hear what you
talking
think.
here. Yeah, I think all the players are going to be aiming to win and claim the fact that they are the best in their regions, like, no matter what.
I love working with Bren because he adds gravitas.
He truly does. He adds so much legitimacy.
A real seriousness to the last 2 days. Exactly. We're landing the plane at a show, and we're really ramping up the seriousness the deeper we get.
We really are. Well, let's continue to ramp up the seriousness, shall we? Because this is a big week. And last night we hosted the prestigious AME Awards. Say it fast and recognizing excellence across VCT Americas. And here's what went down. Welcome back to the AME Awards, the 71st annual. Unbelievable stuff. Now, of course, they told me to bring a suit in today. I hadn't worn one since 2018, and I came prepared for work today. Our next presenter has TikTok brain rot. Here's Brent.
Skibbity Riz impressions are important. For instance, you don't want to have a wrestling-pilled madman introduce you every time you do a cast. It does wonders for your confidence. Take it from me. Today, we're here to recognize the best walkouts. The nominees are Maverick, Crew Visa, G2 Esports, Loud, and Mel. And the AME goes to... Drum roll, please. Mel! Wow, what a walkout this was. Stage 2, week 1, day 1. The door opened with such ferocity, so much power, so much aura. It entered the arena. The lighting was messing up. I think Bala just dapped her up. I'm not too sure. There was so much going on in this match. I remember it like it was yesterday because MIBR versus Lev was playing. It was a very memorable match. And accepting this award on behalf of Mel, the presenter, Golden Boy. Why?
Thank you so much, Brennan. That's right. I'm accepting this for Mel because she's currently climbing the K2 and couldn't be here to accept the award. So I will accept it on her behalf. And see, here's the thing, Brent. I think it's important that we have pro wrestling intros for everyone in esports because it is absolutely the best. Brent, get out of your shot. You're bothering me. You're bothering me. Get out of here. All right, now it's time for our next award. Here to present it is Brent's better half. Please welcome Sideshow.
Thank you, thank you. I'm here to present the award for something that Golden Boy knows nothing about. Aura. He lives on r/politics, bless his little heart. The nominees for Best Aura are Aspas, Shandi, Leaf, post-haircut, and Jorgamo. And the Amy goes to... Shandi! Oh. What a worthy winner he really is. Came into Fury, absolutely changed the tide of this team. I'm thinking about getting similar tats, but my wife won't let me. I've been asking her for a while, but she seems to think it won't work so well for me. Thank you, thank you. And accepting this award on behalf of Shandi is Golden Boy.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, that's right. Look, guys, Shandi is just way too cool for this show, so I'll go ahead and accept this on his behalf. And I'll be honest with you, I want to be him when I grow up eventually, you know? All tatted out, just looking like a badass. That's really all I want to do. In any case, so here to present our next category. It's Esports Desk Analyst of the Year. It's Mimi.
Okay, I'm dressed up and I'm ready for this. So here's the best mid-match moment nominees. The nominees are Boostio for water bottle flips, Aspas for reclining, Oxy for potassium consumption, and Boostio and Shanks for staring at each other like domesticated animals trapped in their respective apartments but still wanting to appear threatening and assert dominance. And the AME goes to... Boostio and Shanks. Congratulations, Boostio and Shanks. Look at him, he's standing up, showing that he's got those legs. He's in the air and not sitting down, and that's so beautiful that he had this moment with his good friend Shanks. Unfortunately, Boostio is not here today to accept this. They're doing something that I'm sure is more important, so accepting on their behalf is not again. You don't deserve another one.
Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Boostio and Shanks are currently making money at Twitch. Get out of my shot. All right, and look, they couldn't come here to accept the award. But here's the thing. I think it's important that we take an opportunity. Don't you dare take this away from me. You didn't even bring a suit to work today. I was told to bring a suit. Listen, give me the awards because I think that there's an important thing. Wait, don't play me out. I'm the host of the show. I'm the whole effing show. Come on. Don't take the mic from me. You get your thing. Don't take it. Make comedy over here. Unbelievable stuff. The absolute disrespect.
Amazing.
Performance.
I mean, you guys couldn't be bothered to bring a suit?
I don't own suits.
I'm not a boomer, so don't own a suit.
He's doing his Sunday best. These geese.
Yeah, instead you just wear geese all the time. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into today's lower final. Talk about Leviatán. Now, this is a squad that was on a roll. Perfect stage 2, #1 seed, champs locked in. They look great. They have hair, and unfortunately, they ran into G2. It's unfortunate.
This game was such a hard read of what Lev liked to do on the defense side. Valin had an immaculate read on them. This is the first time all year that Lev have been clean swept in a series. They've at least got a map in every other match they've played.
Yeah, and you heard in the coach interview after this game, Padre was saying that he felt like map 1 came down to like individuals taking fights, things like that. I think, like you, that this was just an incredible read by G2. It felt like they were one step ahead. I think of the rounds on defense where Valen is fast flanking before the players on Lev are even hitting into his sight. It was, I think, the peak of G2 this year in this game. So I don't know how much to glean from it for the side of Lev.
They also, on bind, Comtex and Mazzino went negative against every G2 player on the second map. They just lost too many of those important fights.
Yeah, I think that the individuality that Lev lean on so much, where they can sometimes have these heavy hitters, there's no team better at dismantling individualism than G2. They are literally the K-Comrade team. They are always sticking together. They are always a part of it. Listen, they're trying to, what the hell do they say? Like, grasp the machines in your hands and maintain control and rip it away from the execs and whatever else. I don't...
Yeah. Like, eat the
That's the thing that they say.
Grab the machines by the cogs.
Grab the machines. And really just get
Wait, by the cogs?
I don't know.
What's a cog?
I don't read. I don't know. But listen, G2, all you need to know is G2, very, very good at dismantling teams that go for a lot of flashy hero plays. Lev have been leaning on that individuality a lot. G2 will be happy to dismantle it every single day.
They really seized the means of capital.
They did. They seized the means of production.
Absurdity in the comparison aside. So are we saying, then is that what went wrong there with Leviatán? Was it simply just that it was individuals just trying to make something happen, but G2 as a unit were just so well constructed, well put together? Because it really felt like G2 were just working that map each and every time.
I think a lot of what Lev does is really individual heavy. I think about the way they play Icebox. They're A-side, they're really often going to have Tex alone there, and he's going to intentionally be trying to find gaps in utility, get ahead, find a forward fight. You think their last game against Crew, Osbos, Tex, these guys were all finding those opportunities. They're a crazy confident team. But like you were saying, Bren, I think Crew is the best at having thorough util, thorough clearing between the players to shut those moments down, which no one else has been able to do.
Yeah. Wow.
This is brutal. I mean, only winning 56% when you're up a player, that is rough.
But I look at something like that, and I gotta give G2 all the flowers in the world, man.
Sure.
Because that is incredible to constantly be in that situation. That 24 times and to be able to find that success.
Insane credit to G2 obviously as well, but I think there's elements of Leviatán's game plan where they love to set up Aspas as an operator. I don't think they were able to do that as much because they weren't even losing pistol rounds. They weren't able to keep the economy snowballing. They were still making attempts at it.
And
they were still making attempts, but they couldn't get it in his hands often enough for him to even have that much impact.
He wasn't even succeeding when they did.
On bind, he got the op in his hands 3 times, and I've actually got a telly to break down 2 of those.
Okay. Well, I wasn't ready for this.
I want to take you over to the telestrator here. Because I think that G2 put on a masterclass of how to counter the Aspas op. So 3 keys to trying to counter an op that you can apply to your own games. First of all, follow any unbroken utility. If there's a dog going up or something and it doesn't get broken, you know the op isn't there. If there's smokes on a part of the map, the op is not going to be playing behind it. So you can follow through the smoke with some utility. The other thing is jump peeking everywhere. And if you manage to go in the opposite direction to the op, you're going to force Aspas to play 1vx situations. He got 22 kills. 6 of them were in unwinnable 1vx positions. So I'm going to take you through one of the examples, which was round 7. He's opping towards short. Look at the jump peaks coming out here. You have a Viper wall on one side that the Viper could be walking up. Jump peak on the other. You're pushing Aspas back. Do they go into the op, though? No, they don't. They have another read on what Leviatán are up to, and it's to do with this pit. The way that Lev like to play their defense setups, they have a pit on one side and the op on the other. They expect teams to be afraid of the pit because it's a crazy ult. So normally that drives people into the Aspas op. But G2 have come up with plans to deal with the pit instead. They've got the read that King likes to play inside his pit on his own. They use a dog to be able to push him out of the pit if we speed things up. And then they've already got Icy in a good position to be able to counter it. The sum total of all of this is basically that they're going away from the op, choosing to take more difficult fights. And if you speed things up to the point at which Aspas is getting his kills, he's getting kills in this situation where it's utterly unwinnable. He's in a spot right now where he's in like essentially a 1v4. And even though he gets a few kills and boosts his stats, boosts his rating, he's not going to win rounds like this for you. You're just not putting him in positions to thrive. You move things on to round 12, and it's actually a pretty similar story again. Pit goes down, nobody playing with King. Oh, there's one player with King this time, but there's a Thrash on the other side of it. Thrash into the Brimstone ult, and look at where Aspas is. Aspas is in a spot on the Hookah.
He's in hookah right now. He can't help. He's got the operator in his hands, and he is out of the round. So I think Crew can pick up a few different things here in their game. Make sure you're integrating jump peaks. Try to go through smokes or try to go into areas where you're confident the op is not. Try to head in the opposite direction from Aspas, and if that means dealing with stuff like King's Big Viper's Pits, then you gotta come up with ideas, because you don't want to go into Aspas. Go into anything else, but do not walk one by one into Aspas like you did last time you played against Leviatán.
You're gonna lose your mind. He's gonna lose. He's gonna lose his mind so much.
It's unbelievable.
He forgot to throw to the interview.
Yes.
So let's check in with Rim, who's standing by with Coach Itapada to talk about how Crew might actually go into Aspas's shot. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
I am standing here with Itapada as they arrive before their game today. Ito, it's been about 2 months since you moved from the assistant coach to the coaching position. Why do you think your coaching style is so effective with Leviatán?
I think it's because I'm really adaptable as a coach, and I'm usually trying to make my players comfortable and play into their strong suits. So everyone on the team right now feels pretty confident in what they're doing, and I think that's why it works this well.
All right, before I let you go, I got to ask, this will be your first champs. What are you taking as learnings from previous masters that you'll bring into the competition?
I think the fact that we're away from home and we need to work a little bit extra is something that you get only on an international event, and yeah, that's basically it.
All right, great insight, Ito. Thank you so much. Good luck in the game.
Now, Leviatán was in our Stage 1 lower bracket final, but fell to G2 in the 5th and final map. And this Leviatán team, they've been in these positions before. They now just need to clutch up here and be able to move past that next step, potentially.
But this was such a different team, it feels like. To me, this was the low for Leviatán. Playing this map, relying on incredibly sloppy, messy rounds. It was individual moment after individual moment. It felt a far cry from the Stage 2 Lev, who have improved their fundamentals, have improved their team play, and have been flawless, except for the last game because of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would agree with pretty much all of that, because this is the evolution of Lev in Stage 2 and beyond. But there's a new narrative brewing at the back of my mind, and I'm almost scared to unleash it, because...
Unleash it.
Say it.
Unleash the beast.
Lev might have a choking problem when it comes to high-stake matches.
You put it out there in the world, you jinx them.
There's something about it, man. They have just consistently underperformed when they're in these playoff picture moments. Shanghai, they had absolutely abysmal performances, I think, across the board. There's something that's lacking for this team, and I think the fact that, listen, G2 are probably our best Americas team right now. I think they're currently the heavy favorites to win the entirety of Stage 2 in Americas, but there's something about Lev just absolutely demolishing Crew, and then as soon as they go up against G2 with a chance to cement themselves into the finals, just failing to adapt and get it over the line. Just, I don't know, there's that narrative brewing, and all it takes is one upset loss today to Crew to just cement it in my mind.
Do you think there's causation there, or is that just the correlation of it's happened twice before?
That's science. I don't have a clue.
That's science.
I'm just going with
I feel like
vibes.
it's happened twice in really similar situations, right? I think the same issues of Stage 1 playoffs were the same issues they were showing at the International. We're talking about that messy lower final. Think about the round in Shanghai where Mizuno's teleporting away from the team. I feel like they've looked much cleaner, even in that loss yesterday to G2. There were mistakes, but it wasn't the cataclysm of Stage 1 in playoffs, which makes me think that it probably won't happen again.
Yeah, no, of course. Well, let's go ahead, though, and move on to their opponents on the other side of the field. You got Crew, all right? And this is where the science starts to come in to play here. Now, this squad, I mean, what a roller coaster of emotions.
I mean, you're saying science. It feels like magic that this team has seemingly done it again.
I mean, they got absolutely slammed by Leviatán, and I thought, that's it, they're out. They're
I thought they were cooked, man.
And somehow picked themselves back up and had a phenomenal comeback with 6 rounds in a row to be able to get to Champions again. And Kesnit, he's like, every piece on Crew has changed around him, but Kesnit's there every time, making it to Champs.
That's 4 times, right? 4 times for Kesnit.
Has there been 4 champs?
That's maths. I don't know.
Don't
go maths, don't go science.
Yeah.
Well, public education system failed both of y'all, that's for certain.
It was 4 times.
It was 4 times.
I have 4 fingers.
What are you, a nerd?
Nerd.
I'm
I'm actually really self-conscious about it.
So mean.
Well, while we go ahead and sort out our differences here, let's go ahead and send it back over to Riv, who's getting a word from yesterday's hero. You got MTA. What is going on?
I am here with MTA from Crew as they get into the building. I have to ask, we saw you during kickoff, and then there was a bit of a break for you, but coming in mid-season, what was it like adapting to the team again? Do you feel like you even missed a beat?
La verdad es difícil adaptarse, agarrar el ritmo desde el comienzo porque fueron varios meses que estuve sin jugar y todo el equipo venía entrenando mucho, pero siento que el equipo me ayudó mucho a agarrar el ritmo de vuelta. Pero no los partidos no.
I think it was difficult to get the rhythm again, to get the pace again. It was not only just a couple of weeks, but it was a couple of months that I was not playing and the teams were practicing and getting better. So it was difficult, but the team helped me out a lot.
And final question for you, Kesnet, this guy's been to every Champions. What are you kind of taking from the experienced players on the team as you guys head to that, it being your first champs?
Bueno, yo creo que donde más se nota que en los partidos importantes intenta más que nada siempre mantenernos arriba y como calmados de los momentos más difíciles estar tranquilos para poder terminar las partidas y todo.
Where we notice it the most is in those important matches and those close matches for everybody to stay calm, to play as a team, and that's when you notice the experience the most.
MTA, thank you for your time. Best of luck in the match today.
If there's one thing that I know about this guy, MTA, is that he's got aura. Because what we didn't even see in that interview just there, Dan had a little chat with him as well, and he said that when EU completed that 1v3 clutch, he saw EU just giving it all a chat from across the stage and just felt anger and channeled that into consecutively clutching these rounds to punch their ticket to champs, to knock out 100 Thieves. This guy, he gave him the business. He gave them the business and delivered his team a win to get them into champs again.
Crew won 6 rounds in a row to make it happen. I think 3 of them you can chalk up to MTA and individual performance in clutches. And it's ridiculous, the story for this guy, disappearing for an injury into stage 1, being gone from the team for so long, and then coming back and having to play so many different roles. He's on the Cypher, he's on the Sova. Previously, he was almost only playing that KO role. And I think that growth of a player has really shown in the growth for Crew.
Yeah, well, let's actually hear what Coach Adam had to say. We talked to him in the post show yesterday, and this is what he had to say about MTA.
I think that everyone got their moments.
Yeah, okay.
But ones that I am really proud of is MTA.
Yeah.
Because he's the new guy on a different role, having a different match, a difficult match, and he was really pumping his teammates.
And I mean, that clutch, that 1v1 clutch with the 2 shock darts.
That was huge.
That's we saw that happen. We're like, well, I think this is it, if they keep playing like this.
And he was, hey guys, we're going to win this, and he was so calm.
Yeah.
Because usually new guys, or when they're too young, they suffer much of anxiety.
Yeah.
But he was calm, saying, guys, we have advantage, take it easy, just breathe.
Wow.
We're going to do this, and we are going to do this. And in a blink of an eye,
it happened.
It happened.
This team has so many different reasons to win. I mean, you can see what Kesnit's talking about in terms of winning for LATAM. Atom also, on top of just talking about MTA, tweeted that he likes to keep the memory of Davies with him as well and be winning for that guy who tragically can't be with them at the moment because he died during the last off-season and would have been here to play with them this year.
Yeah.
So they're keeping him close, trying to do best by his memory, keeping them motivated in spots like this, and they've been justified. I mean, all of these different reasons to win, and they perform when it matters.
Yeah, the motivation. I think this is a team that really channels their emotions well into their play. It's what you're talking about with MTA stepping up after seeing EU getting up on the other side of the stage. When someone makes them angry, when they have something they really care about to play for, I think they really level up, and you've seen it now in 3 different runs that this team has made, and this is looking to be another one in playoffs.
Yeah, I think the pressure is now kind of off this team's shoulders now that they've made and earned that slot at champs. And at this point, the world is their oyster. I think they're going to go into this matchup not even thinking about the last time they played against Lev, which was only a few days ago, where they got absolutely smashed. The crew that we saw in that match compared to the crew that we saw the other day, completely different team. Mentally.
Absolutely.
Completely different team. They did a 180. And I think that it is only going to be beneficial now. They have shown that they can perform. They've shown that they've got what it takes. They're not going to be the same crew that went up. I think Atom described his teams as sheep, basically. He said, we weren't sheep. We want to be wolves, but we were sheep in that match versus Lev.
And I think this comes
back to talking about how you counter the Aspas up, because they were just contacting into it repeatedly in their previous match.
Yeah, I think it also came down to Texas' side anchor. I think that Crew, the way they were playing, they weren't quite tight enough on their team play, and there was a lot of angles where they were taking liberties on these peaks, not using utility, not having a double swing setup, and Lev is the team that is guaranteed going to punish that stuff. Their individuals are so good to get those opening kills.
Yeah.
If those mistakes happen again this series, I'm really worried about this one snowballing.
What are the 3 rules that they got to follow, Crew?
They got to be jump peeking a lot, using utility and following it when it doesn't get broken, and going through smokes with util because they know Aspas is not going to be there.
There you have it. You got the breakdown. Let's see how this all breaks down. We got one match today, and it's time to get this day started. Leviatán versus Crew. Let's kick it off.
Está el movimiento de Musera y el castigo ahora en contra de King. Muy bien, Tex respondiendo. ¡Yeah! Vamos, Crew, que tienes armamento. Buscar la retoma, sangre y fuego, lo que sea. Melzer y Kevin. Y ahora aparece Melzer. Vamos a ver cómo la juega. Motita, Motita. De frente, amigo. Diga, 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 diga. Diga.
Que hace un Real duro, obviamente, pero siento que tenemos ahora mucho, o sea, nada que perder prácticamente y mucho por ganar. Esa presión de clasificar ya se fue. Vamos a salir a jugar y literalmente, de verdad, ahora sí vamos a jugar porque el último match prácticamente ni jugamos, entonces vamos a intentar como remediar eso y que gane el mejor.
Sigue en el espacio, va a aperturar la puerta ya con el anochecer para que no nos escuchen. Soy con la doble baja, quiere la tercera, se vuelve demasiado importante.
G2, they've toppled Leviatán here, who were yet to drop a map.
It definitely sucks to end the streak. I think we have something to prove still, that we're still the top team in Americas.
Look, even the dart coming out, Tex is just free to play aim labs again.
I'm guessing it'll be harder this time to beat Crew. Once like a rematch happens, they kind of learn how you play, so I'm expecting more from them.
Riot Games Arena, todos los caminos llevan a Latinoamérica y hoy, por el pase a la gran final, que se escuche para su primer equipo, ¡Leviatán! Y en el otro lado, el que sigue sorprendiendo, sigue clasificando y ahora buscan ganar contra un oponente conocido, Crew Visa.
Work hard and play hard. Work hard and play. Work hard and play hard. Work hard and play. Work hard, play hard. Work hard, work hard and play hard. Work hard and play.
It's now time for the lower bracket final, and Crew brought the Gators, so you know things about to get serious out there. Meanwhile, on the other side, Leviatán, the focus, the pressure that the team is feeling. Going into this situation, you got a Crew team that just genuinely feels on top of the world after qualifying for Champion Seoul when no one gave them the time of day. Meanwhile, their opponents on the other side literally created to win a championship, and they find themselves here in a lower bracket final match.
I think Shai said it best in that piece that we saw just before these teams walked out, but he said the pressure is off of us. We've already qualified. That was one of the biggest goals for them, and at this point, they feel like they're
playing with house money, baby.
Exactly, playing with house money. Leviatán, on the other hand, still has to prove, I think, that they are a team that doesn't just roll over teams that are a little bit weaker than them, that they're not just this untested squad that just falters in playoffs all the times. Leviatán are the team currently with all the pressure in this match.
I love to see that Abyss is going to be featured in this pool. They're going to ban Lotus Bind, the classic maps that they've been getting rid of. We may not get there because it's the 4th map, but God, I hope we do, because I want to see what that looks like from Lev.
For Crew, this is a revenge match for them. They got owned by Leviatán in the upper bracket, got sent down here to upset 100 Thieves. And the 2 maps where they got smacked, Icebox and Sunset. Both are going to be starting really early in the pool here. And Josh, you were talking about it. I think these maps are the test of how much Crew has improved with their game plan to deal with Icebox.
How much did they go back, watch the VODs, and actually realize, hey, these are the things that we need to fix?
If they're giving away the same opening kills they were in that last series, this VO5 is probably just cooked. Like, that's the biggest thing we need to see out the gate from Crew.
I believe the sides are swapped heading into Icebox, so we're going to be seeing Leviatán on the attack side to begin with. So that might offer a little bit of an opening, a softer beginning to the game, before you have to worry about that guy there with an op in his hand.
But you know what, though? We mentioned Icebox, but let's not forget on the other side of the freaking field, you got Kesnet, a guy who's been consistent all year for this Crew team. If he gets activated on that defensive side for Crew, it could potentially be a problem.
But he didn't find that performance in the last match. He needs to improve that here, absolutely. Leftor is still dangerous on attack. They're one of the few teams sticking to this Harbor Viper composition. Despite the loss to G2, I think they tend to look pretty good on this attack side. They have a lot of ideas with the Cascade to get early space in their respective mains and go for these kind of late contact plays into pops that they're super potent at.
Yeah, if I was Adam, I would be burning the rule book, burning the playbook. Maybe not the rule book, you might get banned for that.
Don't do that
ban the rule book.
But at least the playbook. Listen, throw it out
Seize the means of production.
Complete anarchy. Because genuinely, I think a lot of this is going to come down to form and whether or not you can actually stand toe to toe. Whether or not Crew have that discipline to punish heavy hitters like Lev in the way that G2 do, I don't think so. That takes hours and hours and hours, thousands of hours almost to practice together and synergy as a team. But what they do have is that firepower to potentially battle back. And it's all about confidence in my eyes, I think, as we open up.
And there's the Reyna for Kesnet. There's no better way to get the confidence going.
And also a good tool to use against the op.
Absolutely. Both these teams play a really contact-heavy style, especially on their attacking side. And so those first engagements, when teams are walking into each other, are going to be so important. If Crew want their revenge, they need to be in peak form.
Oh, baby. It's now time to get this lower bracket final underway at Riot Games Arena. Let's make some noise as we get ready for this one. They've been training to go all 5 maps if needed. It's their time to shine. It's Doug and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, if you are just tuning in and joining us, this is not Deja Vu. Yeah, we saw them play a couple of days ago, and yes, it was a brutal end for Crew, but any dog can have their day, and maybe we're going to see something different today. We've already seen Crew make some of their adjustments.
Yeah, in terms of the team composition, they're going back to comfortability now. We got Kesnet back on the Reyna, and I think this was a way better look for them than what we saw with the Jet. I mean, they won 2 rounds last time around. Now, they do start on the defensive side, like the analyst desk said, so maybe there's a little bit more time to warm up, but the only problem I have is now Leviatán can set a pace on this attacking side.
Yeah, and I think, you know, as we have conversations about Reyna, it's often spoken of as being very feast or famine. So if Kesnet can get going early, yeah, there's the potential to have some momentum, but not only just when it comes to the Reyna conversation, but for Crew in general. If they start off slow, Mimi said it, I mean, it's washed.
Yeah, we saw what happened last time they started off slow, so they're definitely going to want to avoid that here, but this is a fast pace already from the side of Leviatán. A convincing A hit is about to come through in the mix once this Viper wall comes down.
Heat already got tagged, spammed through the walls. Aspas is taking a little bit of damage in exchange, but Mazzino is on the prowl. Look at the pathing that he takes. Goes around 410, manages to get around the site. and then strike. That's a really nice setup.
Yeah, and from the frenzy buy as well. Shy's back sight though. He gets 3 to the round. Salvation. It's down to a 1v1 now. Melzer on a quick flank here. Ospas, he should be aware of this though, because he just cleared out all of CT.
He's got a ghost, no armor. Ospas is so weak, and Melzer cleans it up. Crew get the pistol.
Wow, and Shy, he's bringing that all-star performance he had yesterday into today. So already a strong start, and that's what we were saying Crew needed to do. Who other than Shy, who, I mean, he had a phenomenal series yesterday to bring them to champs.
It's often one of the quietest members on the squad, but often also having some of the most impact, especially when Crew seems like they're at their best. We talk so much about Kesnet, we talk so much about Heat, and yeah, for good reason. But man, the impact and the value that Shy brings Crew is really impressive.
Yeah, it's always been, when is that value going to come to fruition? When is he actually going to be able to show that? And he did it at just the right moment. Nice little cheeky default lineup dart there from Tom. I haven't seen that one yet. A new lineup for all the Sova mains out there to steal. Gets you full control of that E-long area. And now a freeze to the round, it seems like. Ooh, a little bit of jitters from Azino. Oh my gosh, Aspas takes out Kesnet in the head-to-head. Sheriff versus a Bulldog.
And honestly, that was a fight that went the way of Aspas almost every time when we saw these two teams clash last. So we'll keep a close eye on that and see who's on top in that duel. You see Lev starting to take back yellow. They've got Harbor walls up. They've got Viper walls that can go up as soon as those go down. They've got a lot of layers to this. And then remember, this is an eco for them. They only have sheriffs.
Yeah, and I like the slow approach as well. And they're only able to do that because of the, you know, rechargeable walls that you were speaking of. They're able to layer their utility, get onto the actual site, make it very deadly with these classics up close and personal.
Yeah, I really like how they did that. They realized that the Harbor wall was going to be going down soon. They take a step back, they throw a freeze on the round, wait for the Viper utility to go up, and then commit. Aspas already getting one is Shy, who was the hero in the previous round, is looking to do a bit of the same.
And these positions right now are very good for Leviatán. Crossfires around the whole site, Doug.
You definitely don't want to start this series by getting eco'd in the second round, but it certainly seems like that's the case. Heat's left alone in a 1v4. He has a Guardian, and 3 members are so weak. But can he pull it off? No. That's a rough start for Crew.
And honestly, a near flawless round, a near flawless thrifty round, eco round from the side of Leviatán. Aspas, he did so much work into that round, getting the first blood, and then going top site, getting a kill onto the kitchen. Oh, look at these shots, amazing.
A double tap just like that, and then the pen.
Insane, and then yeah, once you have all that sight, it's just too hard to retake at that moment. All the close boxes, now the classic becomes so deadly. What an insane round from Aspas, Doug. That was ridiculous.
And you take a look at the investment from Leviatán off of that, one person bought. Other than that, they've been able to carry over the spoils of war from the previous round into the next.
Yeah, and also have a Harbor All into this A-hit as well, if they want to use it. That's a slow A default and a freeze to the round. This is something that Leviatán seemed to want to do in this half. Do an A default, freeze the round, wait for some type of aggression from, you know, the Reyna. Any type of likes.
And he's been known to do it. They've invested the Reckoning. Again, Harbor Wall goes up. And Lev push forward. Shy's been spotted. The spam from MTA is nice. And so Aspas is now down. A weapon has been upgraded. Now 2 Guardians on the side of the defense as the spike is still trying to work its way through out onto the side and get planted. On the swing, Kesnet falls. MTA continuing to cause problems. He was good yesterday, but Tex with 4. That'll do it.
Tex, he flanks around the back, cleans it up. No one was really looking at him in that moment. At least the last 2 players weren't. So a good pinch right there, but the spacing initially was kind of rough. Look, Aspas is alone here on an island. No one's running through to help him out. Good work for Leviatán to slow the round down after they get picked 4v5 and then take engagements together. But it's something they're going to need to tighten up in these future rounds, especially on a gun round, because if you drop 4v5 like that, how many more chances are Crew going to give you?
Yeah, that's a really good point. We have seen that approach twice, though, right? We saw it in the previous round. They froze, then they hit when they got what they wanted. They did the same thing in round 3. And so now in round 4, with ears perked, we'll see if that comes up again. An Outlaw in the hands of Aspas.
Yeah, understanding that the economy for Crew is kind of in shambles. A lot of players might be on that light armor. You can eliminate a player instantly with this gun if you get a body shot onto that light armor. And so far, it's been back-to-back A, B defaults. You know, we saw in the eco round, it was a B default, similar wall, and then a freeze. This time, proactivity from the side of Crew. They don't want any of the space to be gathered.
That's really nice timing on the Dizzy from Heat.
Oh, but that's a really nice timing of a headshot on an MTA. And now that's a free A site, but I don't think Leviatán know that.
No, they're so concerned about it. They're going to try to rotate back, and they've cut off the contain. Shy is now dead. Mid is wide open. Killjoy utility is rendered useless. And now Lev have the entire map to their own.
Right there. Yeah, and you just want to group up now. It's a 5v3 no matter where you go.
Right.
Group up, make sure your trading is on point. You can still use rechargeable utility if it comes back up, like that Sova dart. Speak of the devil. And yeah, they're going to know that this site is free, and this might just be a save from the side of Crew.
You don't really have a choice. I mean, you look at their economy, it's rough. Light armor on 3 members. You got E-code already. And so really what you're trying to do here if you're Crew is avoid 2 days ago as much as possible, right?
Yeah.
You can't have any hint of that coming back into your minds, coming back into the conversation, because that snowball gets really big very quickly.
And I'm wondering then, just off of what you just said, are we going to see a timeout already? Is it maybe time to already hit that that panic button? I don't want to call it a panic button yet, but is it time to maybe hit that pause button?
Maybe?
Yeah, the concern button.
Yeah.
Because, you know, last time around, it was around that 4-round mark that they used it, and honestly, it was a little too late.
It looks like Lev are starting to move around the map and try to find any stragglers that are trying to keep weapons into the next. And other than King, it seems like they might be able to survive with this. Posted up in garage. Seems like they'll go through undetected, so the weapons, barring again, King dropping one at just the right time in the waning moments of the round. One will fall, so they will carry 2 into the next, but Lev have a really big advantage.
Yeah, it's all that conditioning they showed previously. When they showed that B default and that same harbor wall, they were already pushed up in the open of yellow. That's why you saw the instant reaction of Crew trying to be proactive, trying to catch the players out in that transition period where they're moving from, you know, the B default orb to the yellow box.
Oh, and I think you also see an instant reaction out from Crew here, and it was exactly what you mentioned just a few moments ago, Dre. An early timeout call, not the panic button, yes, but the caution button.
Yeah, and it's because they have a thrifty buy. Keep in mind, they only saved 2 guns going into this round. So it's a perfect time to, you know, get your gatherings and just put something together for the next gun round is what it is going to be. So right now for Crew, it's been the defaults that have been kind of destroying them so far from Leviatán. I wonder if we're going to see them just take aggressive space on one of the extremities and maybe play a retake on the other side. Something that we see Leviatán do quite well on their defensive side is, you know, get an op on Osboss, have him control an entire lane, and then play a little bit heavy on the other side. It's very common for teams to do that on a map like Icebox. But the key difference is, you know, Kesnet isn't on Jet. So it's kind of more risky in that way. You don't really have that, you know, get out of jail free card.
Right. Infinitely more risky. You know, we were having a conversation at the beginning of the map about how Kesnet needs to start off on strong footing, given that he's playing the Reyna. A quick check-in, and it hasn't been the hot start that he was looking for or that Crew was looking for. But he does have a rifle in hand. Shy is gone already.
Yeah, that's quick too. Usually when you have 2 rifles invested into a round like this, you kind of want them to take the forefront of the action. Have them get in the mix because it just gives you more of a chance. You know, it's more likely for those rifles to get a pick than a sheriff, but you know, more aggression from the side of Crew, and they're just getting punished across the board here. This should be a free kill as well onto Heat. So many angles he has to look at if he actually wants to peek out into spawn. Oh man, Leviatán are so ready for this.
They've got the turret, they've got the alarm bot mid, they've got a couple of players back towards spawn watching it. They just have the whole map so well considered.
It looks so easy from the side of Leviatán right now on hold. Tex, he's looking to get a third into the round, build up towards that lockdown, and he will get it. 3 for Tex into that round, and it was easy breezy pick'ems. I mean, after that pick in mid on Shy, it's likely that there's going to be more aggression somewhere else on the map, especially when you're down 4v5 on the defensive side. And it was flawless.
He's currently sitting at 8-2 right now. It's another hot start for this guy.
Yeah, he's unbelievable in these moments. His killjoy on this map has been phenomenal all year long. Obviously, Osboss is ridiculous as well.
Aspas who, man? It's been all text these last couple of times. We'll see how it continues to play out. Again, Crew in a desperate need to start to at least try to get a 5v4 numbers advantage, but Aspas continues to cause problems. Shy's in a really good spot here. Can he get out? No. Aspas with 3 on the round with help over the top, too. He was not able to get out, not able to survive. Nice movement there from Aspas, too. Getting high ground, avoiding the damage on the shock dart, which surely would have been lethal.
Guy's sitting at 30 HP. He needs to give that spike to somebody else. Not sure what's really going on here from the side of Leviatán. Trying to feel out this B site, perhaps.
Which I think is again, one of the things they do so well. You know, you and I have talked about this a fair amount. Not just today, but in every other time that we've seen them play. They love to play the map. They love to slow things down. They love to force errors out of the opponents and then really capitalize on those and punish them wherever they find weakness. And we've seen it a couple of times today already, and this is another example of that. You're up big on numbers right now. It's a 4v2. You've got guns, you've got ults, you've got everything. The temptation to just brute force your way in is really high, but they're so disciplined in their approach, even in positions like this.
And wisely so, because if you give a team like Crew the time of day, they're going to execute right back on you. So if you want to play a disciplined game against a team like this, that's how you take them out. When it gets in this chaotic, scrappy moments, Crew seem to thrive in those.
Yeah.
Their mechanical talent is honestly known around the world. And they just seem to be such clutch players. I mean, look at what they did yesterday to 100 Thieves.
MTA getting a little bit forward. Oh, 1-for-1 there, but again, in a 4v2, those numbers just don't add up. You'll lose that every single time.
Yeah, good on Leviatán to trade out numbers there. Use the advantage that they got early from Aspas, getting 3 on that A main default. Honestly, nobody was really ready for him in that moment. Kesnet got instantly deleted.
It was through a wall, too, if I remember correctly.
No, the first one was just straight up boom.
Oh, yeah.
No chance in hell for Kesnet to get that kill. He was trying to move out of there, trying to get out of dodge, but Aspas was too quick. Frustration.
Yeah, building already, you're right. Face of MTA, who again was a massive highlight yesterday.
Oh my gosh, the 3 rounds that he got on that ascent. I mean, it would be 100 Thieves here if it weren't for him.
Yeah.
And he struggled, honestly, getting into the mix of things, but now they can say that they're a top 3 team right now. It's confirmed on paper. Ooh, King, another punish on the walk-up. Leviatán, they're so dialed in right now on these approaches when they're just holding these weird off angles. Sometimes it can be hard to hit those shots. The bullets just can't quite connect, but today they're connecting for sure.
Much like they were a couple of days ago. It seems Shy with the Guardian in hand. The only, well, Heat has a rifle too, but they're both sitting over towards A. It's just Meltzer by himself here with the Sheriff. I mean, he's been droned around on one side, he's been walled up on the other. They know exactly where he is. He's just a prey that's waiting to be hunted down, and that's exactly what happens.
And there's even a follow-up Harbor ultimate too, if there's anyone else on the site trying to help him out.
Yeah.
So no turns being unchecked right now from the side of Leviatán. Good fundamentals.
Is this another save? It has to be a save, surely, right?
I don't know. The money's looking kind of rough right now. I think these Guardians just want to get any type of kills. That Sheriff kill from MTA is good. Because they have a full buy in the next round. They got rifles on the board.
Player standing.
Kesnet at 350, Shy at 400. Heat not able to find a second kill. Meanwhile, you take a look at the other side of the stage, and they've got money, I mean, for days. They're in such a comfortable position here. And again, I want to point out that just a couple days ago, we saw them play on Icebox, and it was on different starts, right? It was Crew who was starting off on the attack, and they were running into the brick wall of Leviatán on defense. Now the sides have swapped, but it really feels like a lot of the same game.
Yeah, I feel like Crew are pushing it a little too much right now. They're trying to make something out of nothing. And I feel like maybe just see if you can do a sight hold against Leviatán so far, because we haven't even got to a point in this map so far, this half so far, where we've been able to see that. We haven't been able to see a retake really, like a 5v5 or even like a 4v5 retake, or even a sight hold in general. It's just been first blood after first blood after first blood from the side of Leviatán on a Crew who are playing aggressive. And I get it, you're running this Reyna comp, but it's too contacty. You can still use utility at some parts, you know? Like, I like what they did when it was that yellow reclear, you know, where they had the dizzy go up and
yeah, sure.
you had players swinging clear in that space. Just got to play that 5v5 retake a little bit more clean, a little bit better.
Or at least try to get into a 5v5 to begin with.
Or at least try to get there, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, but
so
right now.
The second timeout has been burned. Again, very much on forecast. I can't help but feel like that's crawling over their skin, man. The memories, the deja vu-esque of a couple of days ago, because so far, I mean, if I didn't know any better because we were wearing different things, I think it's the same match. I think it's the same day.
Yeah, it definitely looks the same. And the comps might not be the same, but the way that they're playing them is definitely resembling it. And right now, there is a lot of ultimates online for the side of Crew, so this could be a little bit of a saving grace in the mix of this half. And if they could bring this one back to even just a 7-5 in favor of Lev, that will be a win, which is kind of rough on a map like this. But still, it's something to work with, right? Better than what happened last time around. What, it was a 11-1 or something like that half? Going into a 13-2. Yeah, it was absolutely brutal. This might be a punish on a Melzer here if he's not too careful. I wonder if Aspas will get this pick. He does have that attack operator, and he knows he's jump peeking this angle. There it is! What a heads-up play from Lev. I mean, if you're going to jump spot that much, okay, it buys time for Aspas to bring it on over. Everyone else is holding for a push.
Placing swarm grenade.
A beautiful pick, and he's been so quick with that operator. I feel like it's something that he kind of went away from for a little bit. In NA specifically, but now that he's bringing that operator back out, he looks super confident on that. Tex knows there's a turn in mid. He's gonna find a timing if
30 seconds left.
Shy comes down. Oh my gosh, there's the timing. He snuck on right past everybody here.
He's got to hear all of that too. Oh, settle. Only able to find one. I thought there was going to be more to be feasted upon. And the truth is there was, but he just kind of makes a mess of it in kitchen. Lev managed to get the pit down. Shy and MTA, the only two that remain. They've got an ult to play around, but I don't know that they really have any comfort to be able to invest into it. Meanwhile, it's Calm, who's really just buying time at this point.
Oh, and he gets a tag on top of it. Yeah, this round is over. Shy gets picked off. Lev finding that classic, you know, late flank, this time using the Sobalt on it.
Here.
So I guess from the side of Crew, it is good on them that they baited that Sova ult out. It's something that they don't have to worry about in the future rounds, but still, it's 7-1 right now. And yes, the narrative from last time these two teams clashed is in full effect once again, Doug. You're 100% right. It feels the exact same. Crew are kind of getting just dipped right now on so many levels.
I mean, in every single facet of the game. I think they're losing their micro, they're losing the macro. They aren't really able to get Kesnet online. He's 1-7 right now, and it's just been tough sledding. The truth of the matter is the timeline tells the story, and it does so in a very accurate manner. This has been all Lev.
God, and the pistol round was so great from Crew, too. It's just, you can't convert that second round. You make it so hard on yourself, and now you just having to do crazy pushes. You're getting punished back and forth. I mean, if you peek this, surely you drop. Yeah, it's just, it's too easy right now. Oh!
Oh, not like this, bro. Not like this. He just geared on all over him. It's unbelievable. It's
alpha.
A slaughter.
That was absolutely alpha from Aspas. Wow. That shorty can be so deadly. Sometimes you just feel it in those moments when you're playing Jet. This guy has whiffed way too many shots on me. I might as well just dash onto him. If he hits it out, whatever. We're up 7-1.
Variable removed.
Shy continues to be crispy.
Yeah.
He's hit a couple of really nice shots today.
So far, it's just been just like the last time around, where the only rounds that Crew can actually accumulate are off of heroics.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Shy in that pistol round. He's back sight. Probably shouldn't get 3 in that spot, but he does.
Nope.
You know? And that's what it was the last time around. I remember it was Melzer who got a 4K to win a round. I think Kesnet got a 3K to win a round on Icebox, and that was all they got.
Yeah, that was their only 2.
Individual heroics. So we need to see some more of that team play, the team play that we saw out of them in that 100 Thieves win, to try to get a couple more rounds into this. And that was a lot of swinging together, not getting picked off first like that.
Yeah, Shy snappy today.
he was awesome yesterday as well. I think he had 59 kills, plus 12 in the series against 100 Thieves.
Remember, your
Sitting at the top for his team, and it was actually Kesnet who was at the bottom in that series. So that was an impressive win for me just for that reason. But I mean, Kesnet's gonna have to be online if you want to beat a team like Leviatán, who are doing things like this just in your face.
And that right there is why you play high sense, because if you're playing against Aspas, who's going to do that to you, you fall behind, you're dead. You're just dead. Kesnet shaking his head with no real answers to be found.
Yeah, it's tough. He's tried to peek in, he's tried to take these engagements, but without a right and proper setup, I mean, you could get insta. That's the worrisome part about having to peek into a player. Right? There's always the chance that they can insta you like that.
Well, and I think it's also, too, a testament to how thoroughly sound Leviatán are as a team.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there are so many other teams that we've seen crumble at Kesnet trying to do that exact same thing, right? He's just going to alpha swing you, and he's probably going to get the kill, but Lev do such a good job of maintaining these protocols at the beginning of the round that deny that level of aggression, and they deny that success.
And it just happened here again, even with utility this time from Crew.
Yeah.
Leviatán were ready.
Meltzer's now dead. The defensive side doesn't have any smokes to play around. Shy looking to make a play, creeping all the way down tube. Still just waiting on the other side. Getting in, he info that he can. Turret cleared. But again, Lev with a heavy lean towards B, and there's not a lot here as far as defenses go. A couple of rounds ago, it was Meltzer. This time it was Heat. The outcome's the same.
Doug, that was such an insane kill from Aspas. We got to see that over in the feed. He kind of like puts his head down and then jumps onto that box so he can't see him right away. And then he instas him. Kesnet can't quite connect the shots onto Aspas. He's not warmed up whatsoever into this match so far. And MTA, he's just on an island. He has to save. It's just been an absolute stomp, Doug.
I mean, they just, yeah. This has become a save simulator for Crew, unfortunately.
You know what, though? It is a best of 5. They can afford to throw a map away and build momentum.
They're just saving for the next map.
Yes.
They're like investing in their 401k.
Yes.
So they can cash out on it. Map 3, map 4.
That's exactly what they're doing. And MTA, I know he's saving this weapon, but he needs to give it to Kesnet, and just, Kesnet, you need to make something work. You got to get warmed up into this.
Yeah.
Oh, he might not save that rifle. Tex will take him out because of the dart from Com.
Well, I think part of the problem, though, Trey, is that I think Kesnet has tried doing that. I think they have tried to put him in a position to go and get kills and go and, you know, kind of force something and rely on mechanical prowess to make something happen. But he hasn't been able to find success there either.
Yeah, and this was actually that's that replay I was talking about.
That's gross.
As soon as he goes up on the box, right?
Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah, I think what it is though, it's the timing in which they're trying to do these plays to set him up.
Sure.
I feel like it needs to be more of like a flood when the actual sight is coming out.
You think it's too telegraphed?
Yeah, it's too telegraphed right now. Like even in that fight with utility on B, Aspas was the only one ahead of everybody else, and he just has a dash already procced and he's able to get out, right? So they were actually, Leviatán were baiting that aggression from the side of Crew. I think it needs to be when the sight hit comes out. I think once the sight hit comes out and Lev are investing their utility and it's, okay, they're definitely hitting this sight, now we use our utility back, and amongst that chaos that's happening on either A or B site, that's where Kesnet will find kills in the mix. But look, it's just random timings they're going for this re-aggressions. But this might be good for them, actually, because you have a delay now on the side of A site with Shy playing here. This might be the first 5v5 retake we get.
They've managed to avoid death so far. And you're right, we might be due for a 5v5. Meltzer has his ult, Heat has the second dance of his. Meanwhile, Tex has a lot to play around. If he can get into a post-plant position here, they're going to have a lot of room that they can buy and a lot of time they can bleed off this clock. A tap is just a threat. Crew realize they have to vacate the space. And now they're going to attempt to refill on it, but again, the spike has been ticking this entire time. What can Crew do to force their way back into this? Kesnet is weak, Shy's already dead. Try getting a little bit of high ground as King snaps onto the second. Can he find a third? Yes, he can. The guy just continues to deliver. Borderline flawless. Lev get to 10.
And the beginning of the round was great for Crew. Honestly, yeah, they re-cleared all that B space. They actually ended up being 5v4 up into that retake after getting a pick, but it's just too much right now. And I think we can see a little breakdown of communication, because even when that retake wall is falling there, no one's aware and holding this little angle. And this is a very obvious spot that defenders of the post plant like to play in.
I mean, especially when you know you're being flooded down in a 5v5 like that. Like, you know that that's where the hit's going to be coming in from, and you know how things are going to play out. It's just been really tough sledding for Crew this entire time, man. And I don't know where I see a bit of a difference. You've got these setup protocols at the beginning of the round just like this. Com hits a nice dart. Heat's the one who gets the kill. That 1-2 punch is sending him back into the corner.
This is so brutal, and now it's just going to be easy pick'ems for Aspas. This is where he reigns supreme, and yeah, he's alone right now, but I imagine he's going to kill everybody in the server. Well, look.
Mazzino, suppressive fire over his shoulder.
Yeah.
They continue to roll out, and they continue to stomp on Icebox.
So insane. What an attacking half right now. One of the most dominant we've seen. Last time around, the 13-2 map of Icebox for Leviatán against Crew was the most dominant map win of all stage 2, I believe, Doug?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Or all year, maybe?
Yeah, I said something like that.
Sort.
I said something like that on the desk the next day, and I was corrected. Space said I was wrong, and then I was embarrassed, and Twitter made fun of me, and, you know, all that stuff. So I'm trying to avoid that one, but yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
I mean, this feels like it could be the most dominant one. It's 11-1. Have we had a 13-0? Yeah, we had one, right? I don't know who it was, but either way,
I think Bootsy was on the receiving end of it, no?
It's up there in the top 5. What a flick.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And you're right. The supporting cast this time around for Leviatán, making sure Aspas isn't alone. It's impressive how this team is able to bounce back after the way that they lost to G2, where it kind of felt like they just got outclassed.
We'll see if the second half tells a different story, because right now we're reading the same book we saw a couple of days ago. We'll be right back.
Ooh, finally got straw sack. This is crazy. Sorry. Let's have a look at the last time that these two teams played. This is Shy getting caught when the sides swap and Leviatán move over to defense. The reason I wanted to take a look at this is because I feel like Crew, first of all, have a bit of a mental block playing against Lev. You see Shy failing to make the right decisions, but also how well they set up the Com lurk. Pay attention to what Com is up to here as I speed the round forwards. If I just pause it here, he thinks about going for the flank and he realizes, I'm Com, I always flank, and I've got to disguise it somehow. So how do they make it feel like Com isn't flanking? Well, Com throws a piece of utility here that we're going to have a look at. This dart, if I just scroll back, you can see he throws the dart and then he immediately goes off on the flank. And the fact that this recon is coming through makes Crew think that Com is with the main pack of the team, and it allows Com to go for the flank undetected. Kesnit was watching behind, he's not anymore. It allows Com this perfect timing, and if we come out of the full screen, you'll see that he is able to have a huge amounts of value from behind. It's all about disguising where players come from. Crew aren't stupid, they're gonna be thinking about where is the Sova. He loves to go for flanks, so that's how Com is being able to make these work, even after everyone knows that it's his MO. So let's see whether he does that in the next half.
Thank you so much, you silly goose. Leviatán continue to roll. Crew, that's what, 11 rounds in a row after the pistol goes the other way.
Yeah.
I think he makes a really good point on how Crew should be able to make some of these adjustments around Lev and how they like to play, particularly Com, but I think that's probably the smallest of the things they have to consider right now.
Yeah, it just feels like it's too little too late. And if you recall last time around, Tex was an absolute destroyer on this A site, getting so many first bloods onto Kesnet, onto everybody on the side of Crew. So let's see if Crew will able to be good and ready to break through the defensive wall that Leviatán are able to put up.
I mean, there are a lot of bricks to this wall right now, bro. They've got 4 people here. They have the Harbor wall. They have the Viper wall that cycles.
Dogs.
And they haven't done anything to clear back sight.
No one's looking at Calm whatsoever. Calm takes a shock dart in the middle of 4 players facing him. And that's his demise into that. That's 4 kills for the side of Crew on this A execute.
Aspas is going to rotate over with the Sheriff with a couple of weak targets on the other side, too. But he's at such a distance. The one benefit is the spike did just go down, so he's got some time to try to navigate this to his benefit, to his advantage. But he's got so many corners he has to clear. I mean, every single thing has to be so well considered, and now with position given away, he's trying to chip and prod at whatever he can. But this seems like another pistol the way of Crew. Kesnet getting a couple kills. Crew get their second. You imagine, barring another anti-eco, that they should be able to get to 3.
Yeah, that was a smothering A execute from the side of Crew. The timing on it was really good, and the way that they were taking the engagements, it was together. That's the key difference in this side than the last side they played. The defensive side, there was too many isolated 1v1s that were happening across the board. Now, pack mentality, go in together, smother the A site players that like to play back site after that Harbor wall is up, and profit.
It doesn't really seem like we're ever concerned about investing very much here. Just one Sheriff. Whew. And I believe that was all they needed the last time. But this is a much more formidable buy from the attack side. This is much stronger from Crew. 2 Vandals, 2 Guardians, and a Bullrock. They're fully leaning into this, as they should.
Yeah, you have to, and you have to win this round flawlessly as well, so you can have those guns into the bonus. Give yourself a big buffer of your own. Give yourself the best chance you can to win that bonus, but it all starts with this round. We saw them get eco'd last time around. A lot of players getting chipped low.
Yeah, but no kills found quite yet. King finally gets on the board in this round, but there's not much else that's going their way. Shy, an unfortunate casualty in a situation like that, feeling it himself. That's all he could really do. He gets through on the round. Crew get their 3rd. And they've, well, I was going to say they got what they were looking for. And yes, it was in the round coming through, but they lost 2 rifles with that.
They did, but they do end up keeping the 2 Vandals, which is probably the most important part about it. And Kesnet, he can actually afford to buy another one for one of his teammates. I feel like right now for Crew, you kind of just have to go for it. You have to try to win this next round. You fully invest into it, you win. If you lose this round, Leviatán are sitting at match point for how many more rounds? It's like
too many.
Yeah, you don't have a chance.
Yeah, we'll let Sliggy do the math.
Go for the win. Go for the win. But Shy opts to not buy for MTA, so it's a little bit of an investment into this. I don't see why they wouldn't do that.
3-11 on Icebox. Shy feeling some of the pressure already. Aspas and Tex have denied so much of that space, and Shy's the first to fall.
And this is what happened last time around. They kind of bullied Shy, who was alone at A for a while in that A default. They kind of just ran him down. If you recall, there was 4 players that did it previously. This time, all it took was Tex and Aspas, destroyers.
It feels like what they were doing in the first half. They were bullying Melser behind back yellow. This time they were bullying Shy A main. Heat's down.
Can this spike be defused? Sorry, Doug. Can this spike be defused from behind the wall? Is this a...
I don't know.
Is this a bad plant? I have a feeling it might be able to.
Let's see. That angle is tricky. And if Calm's kind of holding over the top, you're right, it might be disaster, or it might not matter. We might not even find out.
Yeah, you don't even need to.
Melser gets his 2 parting kills on the way up, and Leviatán gets him at point.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of the spike plant spot or not, Leviatán, we know that they're insane on the retakes, and they made this one look easy as well. Getting that first blood onto Shy at A makes it so, Crew kind of have to speed up. But I feel like it's just the same reactions from the last time these teams met and faced off. I feel like I want to see something more from Crew. I want to see them actually double back and challenge that A space again, slow the round down, not just do, the common reaction of speeding up into B. Because Leviatán are willing to play for that. We saw that last time around. So right now, Crew maybe just trying to play their own game plan, not really thinking about what Lev are doing.
We see some of their financial decisions in the previous round having impact on this one. You have 3 Vandals, 2 Guardians.
This bully on A main again. Shy sitting all the way back in spawn this time, but
yeah. And the thing is, they aren't even really investing very much to bully him off the angle. It was just a drone.
There's no way. He's just going for it. Oh my.
He spots him. What?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, a little graphic where we see the zoomed in crosshair on the replay. Yeah. That's a good one for that one. I imagine that'll come through here in a moment.
Just sees a pixel at the top of the head. But again, look, they go back and kind of half challenge Osboss, but Osboss is still holding this ground, so it's just Leviatán giving all sight again, and they're just gonna get free picks left and right once more.
Dude, Tex just like plays his space. He just played his time, waited for the wall to go down, and he was there to greet. They've invested the harbor wall on the other side to section off the site and to section off the spike. Calm on a tap and the cove is up. He can stick this if they don't respect it. It's already come through, but he's gonna hold it the entire way. There's nothing to stop it. There was nothing to stop Leviatán. It was a stomp 2 days ago. Icebox was the exact same story.
Crew getting one more round this time though, Doug.
Progress.
13-3. And the change of comp was a W of one more round.
Maybe they can build off of that, but Dre, I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, man. It really feels like there's a massive gap between these two teams right now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And you know what? VALORANT can be at times a game of matchups, and it might just be a thing where Leviatán just understand how crew like to play, because that's what it looks like.
Sure. It was also Leviatán's map pick, so, you know, maybe we can kind of lean into that a little bit. Haven, this next map that we're going to, it will be a little bit different. It was Sunset the last time, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Haven will show us something alternative. We'll see you guys on the other side of this break. We still have a lot more VALORANT to play. We'll be right back.
Drawn. They're picked to pieces.
Cloud9 are so good.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
Control of it, I've lost control.
said forever, yeah. I burned your letters, and I'm just forgetting about you. I'm just forgetting about you.